All right, this is my Ethnic Studies 100 final podcast that I have. I'm here with, who are you?
Raul.
Raul, and who are you?
My name's Kevin.
Kevin. I'm here with Raul and Kevin, and we are going to be talking about what it was like growing up Hispanic. Now, what was it like? Was there anything specific that you guys can remember that's very prominent to you? Such as, I don't know, like birthday parties being different than other people's, or like every time you saw someone that they said like, oh yeah, me and my family did this, you had an experience where you've never like had that or something like that? Anything specific?
I mean, yeah. With birthday parties, it was always just a stereotypical where it's like the 5-year-old, it's his birthday today, so you have to go to Costco and buy out like their whole section of beer, and there's like a party until like midnight. Like that. That's fairly accurate too. And my parents had a lot of friends, so growing up, we would often have the choice between going to an amusement park down at Phoenix, or like having a birthday party. And if we chose a birthday party, we would invite like crap ton of people, and then stay up until like midnight. And yeah, I mean, birthday parties were always loud. They're always long. A lot of people, lots of food.
I'm trying to think right now. I think one thing would be just like holidays, for example. Like, this isn't a big one, but for Christmas, I know most Hispanics, like myself, celebrate on the 24th, and then a lot of people I'd ask them, they're like, oh, we celebrate on the 25th in the morning. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So it's not something super big, but it's just like a small difference like that.
Small differences, yeah. I remember also celebrating at waiting up till midnight and then opening our presents.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys think there was any like specific expectations of you? Like, do you think you already had like people had this thought in your mind, like, oh, he is going to do this, or oh, he will eventually do this, from like when you were growing up or even now?
I think that when I was younger, obviously every parent wants like to have high expectations for their kids, want them to be successful in life and all that. But my parents just cared that I was just super like, super good in school, like just worked hard, and they didn't really care if I did something super, super crazy, as long as I just was not making dumb choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me as well, my parents, they'd always tell me about how whenever I like thank them for something, they thank me for my hard work. And I understand their placement where they moved to this country when they were married in 2005. They were about 21 years old. Both of them were about 21 years old when they got married and they moved here. So I did get that a lot of it was because they were immigrants, and they obviously want me to move up the social ladder. And my mom tells me the story every now and once again, where I was talking about how I wanted to be a teacher, and then she said like, hey, like, don't you want to be like a lawyer, engineer, or doctor? And it's like, well, you told me to focus on a career that I would like, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be a teacher. And she's like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, similar to Kevin, where it's like as long as I work hard, they're happy with me.
Okay.
But I do feel like there is that pressure, just because kind of like what Raul was saying is, your parents like sacrifice so much to come like a new country and all that, give you like a good life, and you just want to like just do something good with the opportunity,
Do you think, other than your parents, people saw you and thought like, oh, he's going to be like anything stereotypical, like they saw you and just be like, oh, he's probably going to be a construction worker, or oh, like a maintenance guy or something like that? Do you think people ever saw that in you, or do you think that you were able to kind of defy that narrative that people have in their minds of what stereotypical Hispanic workers are?
Well, I think that obviously people that knew me pretty well didn't think that, but there's probably a good amount of people that I personally didn't know that thought that about me, and they're like, oh, he's just gonna go into construction after school and stuff like that. But people that did know me personally, like, I talk about my goals and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, he's not gonna do this, he's gonna do something good, just because I did a bunch of like random crap and just made anything happen, really.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard that directly, or that it was even implied, honestly. I mean, I was a smarter kid growing up, so I guess they knew that I would be able to do something with it. And I remember in 6th grade, a teacher asked me if I was going to go into college. I was like, oh, maybe not. And she said that she was like so saddened and like disappointed to hear that. So like, if anything, maybe the opposite. They're like, oh, this kid will do something.
Yeah. Okay. Now, do either of you know what a counter narrative is? I know I talked to you, Kevin, about it a little bit, but I haven't talked to you about it.
Yeah, I have a ethnic studies 160, and
Oh.
we read a little bit.
Is it with
about
Doc? Professor Cuevas?
It might be actually Pedro Cuevas.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's who this is for.
Hello, I'm in your online class.
Yeah.
Spot it.
Yeah. So that's the Chicano studies, right?
Yeah,
Damn, it's windy in here.
it is.
So
Yeah.
bad, bro.
But yeah. So how do you guys think a counter narrative should be told? Because you guys obviously are coming from a point of view where not many people saw like, oh, you were going to go into stereotypical job A and B, but there are definitely a bunch of people that happens to where they have this narrative told for them, and they just think, oh, I guess this is just what I have to do then. Like, what do you guys think of that, and how do you think that affects people like growing up Hispanic or like growing up compared to other kids that they see around them?
I've definitely heard stories, like a lot of stories about that happening, and it really all depends on the parents too, like how they raise them. I was lucky to have like super sympathetic and caring parents that weren't like pushing anything on me, or they're just like super supportive of anything I did. But like I know other parents are just like super strict. They're like, hey, you're gonna wake up with me at like 5 a.m. and clean like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's tough though, because yeah, it just happens.
It just happens, yeah.
With counter narratives, they're really complicated. There's a lot of nuance to it, and like how they can be and how they should be done and how they've been done in the past. In that ethnic studies class, we watched a documentary about like an ethnic studies class that were done in the Tucson district.
We also watched them.
Yeah, and it was like super interesting because a lot of kids were like, oh my gosh, like I can do something that isn't just what's laid out for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you talk about like other kids, it's safe assumption, talk about like middle class, maybe white kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, with a lot of it is just in the media that we consume as well. Where like a little kid will see, like a little Hispanic kid will like maybe see like more Hispanics working manual labor, and they're like, okay, well that's probably what I'm gonna do. Then you look at media and there's a bunch of older white men that they're in much more successful places. And that of course goes with women as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with counter narratives, how they should be told, their identities, all their labels should be made known, and say like, hey, I was able to do this, this, and this. I worked hard. I had these opportunities. These were my limits. Acknowledging limits are absolutely important to counter narratives,
Mm-hmm.
and just still prevailing, regardless of what goes on.
Okay. Did you guys ever think maybe I could have changed something, or like I wanted to do this, but it wasn't able to happen because of certain circumstances or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, I don't think so. A lot of it that I would have wished would have happened is just me being a kid and a bit of a brat.
Oh yeah.
Like maybe getting some more toys or something. But I mean, I don't think so. My dad worked hard, and I acknowledged that, and I knew that there would be limits. And when my dad was able to take my family and I to to Disneyland the summer after I graduated, like he told me like, hey, like I'm sorry I didn't take you sooner, because that was like I guess one of his goals as an immigrant parent, to like have his kid experience the American dream, like to him what the American dream was, and go to Disneyland, just stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
You might repeating the question again.
Do you have any like wishes or ones that you wish could have happened, but due to certain circumstances that they weren't able to happen?
Oh, well, it's really similar to all too. Like, obviously, as a kid, you're like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. You want everything as a kid, which was pretty much me. But I don't know. Like right now, I'm super like content with everything. Like everything I've just been able to do the past couple of years. But growing up, it's like I always wanted to like learn how to ride a bike and stuff like that. But my parents were always like out of the house working, so I never got much chances to do stuff like that, or like even learning how to swim, for example. Like,
Yeah.
I barely learned last year, which is kind of nuts. But there's nothing I wouldn't really change, but it's like small stuff like that I'm like, I wish I would have learned that sooner, but it's like whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Let me think of another question. I think this one. Did you guys ever compare yourselves to other people's lives, like as a kid or even now, where you see them and they're like, dang, they're so much happier, they're doing so much better. Like, I wish that could be me or anything like that. I mean, obviously as a kid you have this thought of like what you guys are saying, I wish I could have more toys, I wish I could do this, blah, blah, blah. But like, other than like the, I don't know, superficial kind of things, did you ever see someone else's life and just kind of compare yours to it and anything like that?
Well, when I was younger, obviously, I'd like get jealous like during what's it called? Good things. People would be like, "Oh, we went on a cruise or whatever."
Oh yeah.
I'd be like, "I want to go on that so bad."
Yeah.
I'd get super jealous about stuff like that. But that's pretty much all I really cared about as a kid. I was like, "Oh, I wish like I had this," kind of like just stuff that wasn't really like super valuable, like trips and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But now, I'd probably like, I don't know. I think about other people, like what they're doing right now at my age, and I kind of do like, I get a little down on that, I guess, because social media, you just see people like that are in their 20s, they're just super successful. It's like, yeah, I'm going to school, and I think I'm like on the right path, but it's like, these people are just doing way better than I am, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, similar to that, where, yeah, like every other kid would be like, oh, I went on a cruise, I went to
Paris.
I went to a random place and like, okay, like I wish I could do that. But I think a lot of it, like I still do that to this day, not with trips like that, but like I still compare myself to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that happens to me regardless. But I don't know if there's anything that like with my ethnicity that like made me, I guess one thing was how people would like say like, oh, I visited my grandma this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, if I wanted to visit my grandma, I'd have to like cross the border.
Yeah.
And like
exactly,
drive like 4 hours down to like El Paso to meet them.
Okay. Now, do you guys think like family? Because I know you just mentioned that. How do you think family was different growing up? Because I know a lot of like other kids will just be able to like drive maybe 20 minutes to see their grandma and grandpa. They live like down the street or something. But like with your grandma, you said she lives in Mexico, right? Yeah. And I'm pretty sure you're.
Yeah. Like pretty much like a majority of my family lives in Mexico too.
Yeah. So how did you feel about that? Like growing up, not being able to see them as consistently as like other people, or just not being able to see them in general.
Well, yeah, for me as a kid, I always hear people like, "Oh, I got to go over to like Granny's this weekend," and I got pretty jealous as a kid. I'm not gonna lie. So I got like a little jealous about stuff like that, and I actually didn't even meet my grandma until 2 years ago over the summer when I first went to Mexico. It was a crazy experience, and I met so much family while I was over there. It was like, obviously I know the culture and everything over there, but it was still kind of like a culture shock in a way, just because you see it online, you live it, but like when it's like all around you, and that's all what it is. It's super insane. But yeah, I only had pretty much my immediate family here growing up, and a couple aunts and uncles, but like nothing crazy, and just only a few people. But like grandparents and other like cousins and stuff like that, they're just so far, and you never really get to see them.
Yeah.
For my case, my dad's side is a lot bigger than my mom's. My mom just has my uncle and her mom. But I mean, look, whenever they would visit, it'd be like a special treat. It'd be like once every couple of years that I get to see them, like maybe once a year for like Christmas, like major holidays, stuff like that. So it was always nice to see. Like I wish I could have seen them more. But I mean, I guess those long gaps of time between I saw them just made it special. With my dad's side, we have like one of my cousins was in our hometown, but then she moved all the way to Texas because her dad found better work there. I have another uncle who's there. Like my dad's second cousin is my hometown as well. So like we had a bunch of family here as well, but I guess it was just our families were just bigger. Mm-hmm. Like people would say like, oh, like they'd like see like the same couple of cousins or uncles, and I'd be like, oh, I have to like keep track of like who I saw.
Yeah, to make sure you know who you're talking to, so you don't mess up any names or anything
like
that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else you guys can think of that was completely different growing up Hispanic, or anything like that? Anything like that pops out as vibrant to you, or any like amazingly cool, perfect things that happened? I don't know.
Well, for me, I didn't really struggle with this because before I started kindergarten, I would watch like cartoons in English, so I learned English from that. And I didn't really struggle in school with like, there wasn't like really any language barrier, but I did notice like growing up more towards like high school and stuff, like when we got like transfer students or just new students come in here, they're like, you know, there's that language barrier that most people struggle with. Like, it kind of like, I don't know, it's weird seeing that because, you know, like they're just wanting to like do whatever, like be a kid and stuff like that, but then like there's just like all this stuff going on. I just like, I don't know how to explain it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, there's a couple of things. I mean, for me, my parents always say that they wanted to make sure that I had the language alive. So, like, it'd always be like, you can speak English wherever you want, but in the house, it's going to be Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a big thing. So I'm really grateful for that. And, like, even now, as a college student, I'd visit my family, and my mom would just be like, yeah, you're losing it a bit.
Yeah.
It kills me. It kills me every
happens,
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing is that I'm like fairly political. I don't know, you can probably guess where I stand politically, but there's always just like a fear.
Full Republican.
Full Republican conservative. I voted for Trump, baby.
Yeah. Ugh.
But-
Don't even say it. It's fucking disgusting, even if you say it.
No, but I mean, yeah, I'm fairly politically active. I've gone to anti-ICE protests, and like growing up, there was like still that fear of like, hey, like we're not white, we're Hispanic, something could happen. Like, remember when SB 1070 was trying to be passed in Arizona, which was an act that would basically allow like any officer to detain anyone with like reasonable suspicion that they're immigrants.
That was not too long ago.
No, that was like 2010, 2011.
Well, really?
Yes.
Dang.
Yeah, so like my parents were scared then, and I remember for the presidential election 2016, I was in 5th grade and I was like crying my eyes out because I was like, oh my god, he's gonna deport all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So there was always that lingering fear, and yeah, like that sense of hatred too, because you know, talking to the listener here, regardless of your political views, but you know, I don't think a 10-year-old should be like crying in his classroom because he's worried that his family's gonna get deported. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
So yeah, just that fear, and I grew up Catholic.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Mexicans are Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big
So there's-
majority,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
also grew up Catholic.
Yeah, so there's that struggle.
Yeah. All of us grew up Catholic.
See, I guess there's that struggle with religion too, because I still struggle with my faith, but like my mom wanted me to go through it, so like, okay, I guess I'll do it. So, yeah, just, I guess growing up there's that fear because I acknowledged that I was brown and that things would happen. Anger because now I'm more politically active, and Catholic guilt on top of the immigrant family guilt, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of underlying effects that some people, I know a lot of people don't even realize it's happened to them, or that they don't realize what they feel about those like doubts or effects of growing up or anything like that, but happens to everyone, I think.
Mm.
I think more so in Hispanic, and how would be the correct way to say this? Like,
What group?
just like non-white. Yeah,
Like
it's-
non-white. You can even say marginalized, which
Marginalized, probably, yeah.
it's a little more aggressive, but I mean,
Yeah.
all things considered, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, and like a bunch of marginalized families. There's
Families
always
of
this
color.
families of color. Yeah, there's always this kind of underlying effect that white kids or white people won't even see and won't even think about,
Mhm.
but it's very prevalent for marginalized communities.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, well, thank you guys for talking.
Of course.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having us.
Thank you guys, and that's pretty much it.